important point about the open communication, listening, and listening actively, and not assuming or presuming that what that your perspective is exactly the way they're thinking or feeling. And this really goes to any interaction, not only with women, but I think people of different cultures and backgrounds and experiences. Understanding, trying to actively listen, and then asking questions. Well, so what was that experience like for you? What do you need from me? How would you like to see things differently? Things change or evolve, and embracing that perspective. You don't always have to agree with it, but the showing empathy as appropriate is the important first step to then finding the way forward.
And I think, along the listening lines, I do remember once sitting in a conference room with my colleagues at the time, and they were all male, and there was a problem we were trying to solve, and everyone was kind of talking at once, and I popped in, I thought I had some good input, and I kept saying everyone was talking louder and louder, and my voice got higher and higher, and no one was listening, and finally I said, I think I have the answer, and they all shut up. And then I said to them, I think you all had your wife filters on, because you have tuned out that frequency. And so, it's active listening, and sometimes just listening, really hearing what's around you.
Well, in the jumping to solutions, I certainly know in general, but also in Microsoft, what happens is we're solutionizing. Oh, there's a problem, let's find the solution, without actually stepping back first and saying, okay, what is the process that we're going to apply here to potentially solve the situation, rather than jumping in, solve. Because it's oftentimes what you're not talking about that is more important than what you're actually talking about.
I'd like to try to answer that one from, being from Mayo, from more of a medical perspective. Because one of the things I've learned, and I think many of you know, we're all different. Men and women are different, right? Not just in the obvious ways, but actually, the medical research does show that our brains actually are built differently. And they function differently, and we use different parts of the brain differently. So I think in response to that question, it's really understanding what those differences are. And it's not necessarily how we were raised, but it's really literally a physical type of chemical balance that each of us has. So, and that's why I mentioned before, the blending is so important, because a team of all men versus even a team of all women isn't a healthy, necessary environment, isn't going to get as far in any type of activity as if you can have the blending of those skills and those different traits. So it's probably just learning a little bit more about what those different traits are. And there is books out there, and Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus is kind of a funny one. And it's an old one, it's been out there forever, but there's a lot of different ones that kind of show those distinct differences, that it's really intriguing. It helped me as a female understand my son and my husband. And so I think vice versa would work as well.
And also, Terry, earlier you had mentioned that women often aren't quite as willing to take a risk, maybe due to a little lack of self-confidence. And I think the supervisors or male managers that are supervising them, if you just give them that little extra bit of confidence, I'm sure you can do this, this will be a great stretch for you, and just realize that they may be a little more reticent than some of your male project managers, but once you give it to them, they will get it done. And then that confidence builder really does a lot for growth. Got so many good ones here.